with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. You would think this would be one Art would definitely be live for, but he's not. And shout out to Art. Art is definitely consistent, especially with the teaching thing he does, dealing with these badass kids and doing this stuff twice a week. So if he's not live, he's not live. But I want to talk about something. I want to talk about, you see a lot of stuff on social media right now about social media about Charlie Kirk and was the dude on the left or on the right. And I've told you all before, I don't really dive deep into white people politics. And when I say white people politics, I mean the internal divisions and sectors of Caucasians, separating, different races and all that other stuff, because they all don't mess with me, right? And a lot of the, in my opinion, conservatives, and maybe I could be absolutely wrong with this, by the way. I could be absolutely wrong. I don't think a lot of them really notice differences between white people either, because they're always trying to defend whiteness. And they're always trying to act like their motivations are not what they actually are. I've talked about Nick Fuentes a couple of times in the last couple of days. One time you ever really heard me mention him. And I've been kind of diving into some of this stuff, mainly through TikTok, with some of this stuff, this conservative movement that's hidden but not hidden. Like everybody, when people think of MAGA, most people think of, number one, they think all the conservatives are like that, which they're not. And they also don't understand that just like in a lot of spaces, there's sectors, there's sections of these spaces. And people, and myself included, don't dig into them because what's the point? And I've actually dug into it a little bit. And it's interesting. So let me say this. Tyler is not a liberal. Tyler's not a liberal. Tyler's not a leftist. I was listening to a video with Shizza Zed, which has got to be his worst take this has got to be his worst take I've ever seen him make. It's fucking stupid. I'm not even honestly, he's African, and I don't say that to be an asshole, but the view he took is a very African view to take. I am a man of God, and I have determined that Charlie Kirk is a man of God as well. After I did research for hours looking up this man. Well, what the fuck did you look at? Not to mention the AI that he uses, quote unquote, Miss Coffee, basically gave him some bullshit ass answer because his family is not a leftist. His family is right wing and he's right wing as well. He just didn't like Charlie because Nick Fuentes doesn't like Charlie, and he is a part of Nick Fuentes' clique. If you had the Manosphere a part of something like this, and I'm gonna keep it real, I want you motherfuckers to take note. We cannot be on a situation like what Nick is about to deal with, because that was somebody in his group that did that shit. We cannot be like that, because people are waiting for somebody to do something stupid and then try to blame it on everybody. Just FYI. But apparently there's a term called goipers. It sounds retarded because it is. Goipers, which apparently is the name that Nick Fuentes gives his the people that follow him, his followers. And apparently, because he doesn't like Charlie Kirk, somebody decided to take care of that. And Nick has come up there and basically talked about, he absolutely doesn't talk about, he gave the we don't condone violence under any terms, the after the fact to cover your ass situation, which, yeah, I do believe that Nick didn't intend on somebody doing that, and I absolutely believe that. Especially when it comes to Charlie. He may not like Charlie, but that's not what he wanted, because that can blow back to him. And even if that wasn't the case, I don't think that's what type of time Nick is on when it comes to other white conservatives. Now, when it comes to black people, I don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Same thing with Charlie. But that motherfucker is a right winger. And it's interesting to see how that's going to affect MAGA and stuff, especially because Nick Fuentes is not white, which is something I've pointed out many a times. And when you just really look at this and you pierce the veil, like when you really, like, this has been an opportunity to really pierce the veil of the insanity.
Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
That is the deep dive of the conservative movement. The insanity that is like the MAGA movement, the insanity that is white insecurity, and motherfuckers that are adjacent to whiteness. I mean, when you look at people like Andrew Tate, when you look at people like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, even to a lesser extent Anton Daniels, you be like, these the motherfuckers you catering to? And I heard something that Destiny from time will make good points. You just gotta know how to parse this bullshit. But when you really like listen to these people, and the people that cater to them. But one thing that's what we talk about, you talk about like a lot of posers. People, and Shizza said, this is the one thing he did say in the video I agree with. A lot of people, and I've talked about this, that are fucking posers. Like, y'all are fucking posers. Y'all do not really believe the shit y'all talking about. Not in its actual totality. Y'all, and when I think of like people like Candace Owens and all these people that keep playing games justifying white violence, especially when some of these people are Caribbean, it's like, yo, Tariq may joke around, but this shit ain't funny, yo. It really ain't. And a lot of people, and Destiny also said something, I'm not gonna say whether I agree with it or not, but Destiny said politics can be violent. And that's typically not, and there is definitely a precedent. So when everybody's talking about, this is not what we're here for and all of that, millennials, time to put your big girl panties on, because the reality of the situation, and by the way, I think Tyler is a Z, by the way, but yeah, but anyway, but when you really dig into the depths of this shit, it's just so much white mediocrity, so much white cope. It's like, yo, like on some real shit, especially with that bathing white shit that was going on last week. It's like when I see some of y'all black people, and y'all, I swear some of y'all like Sage Steele, Candace Owens, like y'all just want to be white so fucking bad. It is amazing. It is amazing. Like some of y'all, oh man, I swear, oh man. And how Candace Owens, like, he was like a brother to me. Oh my God. We was in the back together, in the back, in the green room, and he did this Charlie act. I'm like, bitch, you're not white, you'll never be white, your kids are not white. Like seriously. And pretending racism doesn't exist when you've experienced it at a young age, you are not in the right time for that shit. This shit's gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better. And it's funny because a lot of the people that are gonna feel it are going to be people like Myron and Candace. Because they're gonna eat the closest to them. I'm not wishing for shit. I'm just telling you what the weather's gonna be. Nick too. Like, a lot of these people that orbit around whiteness and they're willing to sell out their own group for it, there's this obvious historical Officer Tatum as well. When he sat there and told white people to his face, my child is not black. White people write these rules. White people write these rules. Like, that's not a decision you get to make. And the level of delusion, oh man, it's amazing. And even to a lesser extent, like I said, I was listening to Zed video, and I'm like, nigga, what? He's a Christian. I'm like, yo, you, like, honestly, Chizza, I gotta say this straight up, you disrespected your Christian religion. You straight up disrespected that shit by saying that. This is a guy that said that you are better off in chains because it was less crime. And you, like, come on, man. And I'm like, yo, you know what will earn my respect with Chizza? If he plays all of Charlie Kirk's fucked up statements and then say that shit. Because at the very least, I can say you standing on that shit. But anyway. But I didn't realize that. I mean, you really get, like, it's funny, you talk about gang violence, but you gang banging. Appreciate the Roger Report for the $10. I gotta go. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It really is, man. It's like when you really dig deep in like what's going over there, yo, them motherfuckers are going through it. Really dig deep in like what's going over there, yo, them motherfuckers are going through it. Them motherfuckers are going through it. And what I see over there is a whole bunch of coke. A whole bunch of people that's not really telling them what they need to know about economics. And y'all are like, the grift over there is like insane. Because the thing that really worries me about the MAGA movement and white people today is white people really don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know, either they don't know who to blame, or they're too fucking scared and cowardly to really handle what needs to be handled in the right direction. And that's crazy to me. Anyway, I'll be back. Peace out.